There might not be a better prospect story in this draft class than Cam Ward. Started off at the FCS level, won their version of the Heisman, went to Washington State, absolutely balled out, transferred to Miami, and now we're talking about him as the likely first quarterback off the board in the NFL draft, likely the first quarterback off the board in rookie drafts. But just how much of an impact is he going to make in an overall weaker quarterback class? He still has questions, and we're going to answer them.
Matt, in the 80s, when I was a young man, Miami was quarterback U. And I watched Jim Kelly, Bernie Kosar, Vinny Testaverde play for the Hurricanes, and they all became stars in the NFL. Matt, I played NFL fantasy football so long, I won championships with Testaverde and Kelly on my roster. The universe is back in sync that we have a Miami Hurricane quarterback who should go at least in the top 5 of the NFL draft. Coming out of high school, this young man enrolled at Incarnate Ward. That is an FCS program, and he played 2 years for the Cardinals. In 19 games, he passed for over 6,900 yards, and he posted an incredible 71-14 touchdown to interception ratio. He only had 67 rushing yards and 3 scores for Incarnate Ward. In 2021, he earned FCS All-American and the Southland Conference Offensive Player of the Year. After he won those awards, he began to go on the college radar because he entered the transfer portal, and he ends up going to Washington State. And in 22 and 2023, he started all 25 games of his Cougars career. He passed for 6,963 yards and 48 touchdowns over 2 seasons. He also recorded a very healthy 13 touchdowns on the ground. Last year, Ward dipped his toe in the draft process. I thought he was going to come out, but he decided in a quarterback class that was loaded, he decided to return to college for 1 more year. And he decided to take his skills to South Florida and play for the Hurricanes. And Matt, he made a wonderful decision by doing that. His professional outlook now is completely different. I do believe it is safe to say he would not have been a first-round pick in last year's class. He earned ACC Player of the Year, the Davey O'Brien Award, and he was consensus first-team All-American. The 5th-year passer established Miami's single-season record for passing yards with 4,313 and touchdowns with 39. That's some pretty nice company to be at the top of the board. He also completed 67.2% of his passes. Matt, that's a program record. What do you like when you broke down the tape of Cam Ward?
Yeah, when you're watching Cam Ward tape, you're going to see some really fun plays. So starting here, you're going to see his ability. He feels comfortable in the pocket. He's poised. He's got a good presence. And what I love, John, right off the bat, we're going to talk about his mobility, his ability to scramble. Ward keeps his eyes up when he's scrambling. I love that from a quarterback prospect because it shows you're always looking for that bigger pass downfield. He's got a strong arm, and you'll see him zip the ball with good velocity through the short field. And he's able to push that ball pretty far downfield, 45, 55 yards, even like against Louisville here, when he's off platform, he's able to make a big play. He's got good escapability. He shakes sacks off well. He remains calm and poised. If you're familiar here with watching Cam Ward over the last couple of years, he did a lot of improvising at Washington State, and that absolutely carries through at Miami, but he's much calmer. He's much more of a confident passer with the Hurricanes this year, even when there's absolute chaos happening, right? So his ability to remain poised, it really reflects well in his gunslinger mentality. He likes to push the ball downfield. He's able to do it off target. I like his mechanics, John. You're going to see oftentimes, even when he's running, he's going to reset himself. He's going to try to throw from a clean platform. He's got a consistent throwing motion. He's got a clean release, and he doesn't let pressure coming at him throw him off. He scrambles well. He's not going to look to scramble first, but he's a guy who could have 4 or 5 rushing touchdowns every year. And that makes a huge difference for fantasy football purposes. Now, I will say when it comes to Cam Ward, there is some accuracy issues, right? That's the downside. He will lead his receivers a little too far at times. He will just overthrow his guys. I think that's where he's got to hone in his game a little bit. And at times, too, you'll see he gets stuck, getting past that second progression, that second read. But what you need to understand again, right? He was able to play a lot of what I call huck it, chuck it football, all right? In the FCS at Wazoo, he was the whole offense. And he had to rein himself in, be a little bit more poised. And he took big steps, but he's definitely still got room to grow at the next level. That being said, if your NFL team is drafting Cam Ward, I think that you're going to be very happy about the prospect that you're getting. Not as happy, though, John. Not as happy as all of the rookie big board patrons. They're much happier with the product they're getting because they're getting access to in-depth rookie rankings, over 80 rookie articles right now, full profiles, dynasty rankings, Devy rankings, and those rankings translate directly to my rookie rankings. So you can go on now and see who Cam Ward ranks right next to in terms of my dynasty quarterbacks. There's the 100-plus page rookie guide coming out later this spring. You can do a one-on-one draft consultation call with me. And honestly, worth the price of admission alone is the personalized advice and community that you get in the Rookie Big Board Discord. All of that available for just $5 a month, or you could save 15% off now with an annual membership. Whether you're watching or whether you're listening, the link to join will be in the episode description. So that's the film breakdown there on Cam Ward. Really exciting gunslinger prospect. I think the stats are going to tell a very interesting story when it comes to Ward.
Without question. And when people are looking at the screen, if you're on YouTube, when you're looking at the numbers and when I discuss them for those on the podcast, they only include the numbers at the FBS level. And what I mean by that is Washington State and Miami. I do not include the Incarnate Ward FCS numbers because you're not necessarily comparing apples to apples. It's more apples to oranges at two different levels. First, he had 38 games played, Matt, at the FBS level, and then you take 19 games at FCS. So I feel really good that his mental acumen and his football IQ, he can devour a playbook and learn the system as quickly as you can expect out of a rookie quarterback. You talked about his accuracy. Over his career, he's not the most accurate. 66% completion is nice, but you do think if he could reel it in and avoid some of those really off-target throws, he could be better. And his touchdown interception ratio, Matt, though, 87-23. He's really smart with the football. Yes, when you watch him once in a while, you'll be like, ooh, why did you do that, right? But I would say if you're looking at it from a macro perspective, he's good with the football. However, we've mentioned it. It's not a great group of rookie quarterbacks this year, and he falls short in some categories. His passing efficiency doesn't hit my benchmark at 148.8. His yards per attempt, 7.9. Now, you mentioned he was the offense at Washington State. That included a lot of short dink and dump passes. That's the Cougars' offense. So your yards per attempt is down a little bit. And you mentioned it. He's a good rusher, a scrambler. He's not Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. I kind of think he might have 300-yard upside ceiling on the ground. I like your 4 or 5 touchdowns. That's very reasonable. He's actually sneaky good near the goal line.
Yeah.
So his rushing equity is only 8%. So I will say this. He's good enough to move the chains with his legs and avoid pass rushers. Matt, I do like the young man. When you looked at the film, and what should fantasy footballers know?
Yeah, let's put it all together here for fantasy football value. That's what it's all about here at the Rookie Big Board. How do we give you insight and analysis to help you win your rookie drafts and win your fantasy football championship? So when it comes to Cam Ward, I think we are pretty confident he's going to be a top 10 NFL draft pick. So that's the draft capital bucket. That's the highest you could get. That's a really good start in terms of his fantasy football value. We talked a little bit about the projection, right? And I think this is an important distinction to point out. All of my value, it's founded in an actual projection sheet, an actual, what are we going to translate here at the next level? And with Cam Ward, without knowing the landing spot, I think he's the type of guy as a rookie quarterback that we're going to be projecting 24 to 27 passing touchdowns. The ratio has been good at the college level, so maybe 7 or 8 interceptions there. 3,200 passing yards, and you mentioned it, John, even 400 rushing yards and 5 rushing touchdowns. That's low-end quarterback one territory, and that's where I expect Cam Ward to be throughout the course of his rookie season. Maybe he starts a little slow, quarterback 15, quarterback 18 over September, but I think he's going to have some big quarterback one type weeks, top 12 quarterback weeks consistently. And he's going to be somebody who going into next season, we consider a kind of a consensus, top 12 fantasy football quarterback. And that's why he's worth a top 4 rookie draft pick. Now, this is the type of season, right, where we have an elite running back prospect, a really high-end wide receiver prospect. And so you're going to hear folks talk a lot about the fact that even in a super flex league, you might not take Cam Ward with the 101. That's okay. We've talked about that. That's our recommendation as well. But that doesn't mean he's not a good prospect, right? That doesn't mean he can't immediately contribute for your fantasy football rosters. You can love Ashton Genty and still be excited about drafting Cam Ward. Both of these things can happen together, and I think they absolutely should, because I want exposure to Cam Ward. I want 25%, I want him on my rosters. I want him on over 20% of my rosters. He's a really good player, and he's got a really, really high ceiling for the value that he can bring to your fantasy football rosters. Not as high as the ceiling of the value that you can get from being a Rookie Big Board patron over at patreon.com/Rookie Big Board. Get access to the rankings, the personalized advice. Again, the link will be in the episode description. And if you've watched this entire video, do us a huge, huge favor. Drop us a comment. Let us know what you think about Cam Ward. How early are we drafting Cam Ward? Are you going to have him on your roster? Ask us anything about the 2025 rookie draft. We want to have the conversation in the comments. And class is going to be in session all rookie draft season long with the FF Educator, with the Gridiron Scholar. We're going to be back real soon with another rookie profile.